You die, I die.
Absolutely not. How about no? How about no thank you? How about happy ending for everyone and we all survive? Oh my god. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, I am going to attempt to talk about Volume 2 of Stranger Things. Because we are finally a few days away, depending on whenever I post this video, and I am just feeling so many emotions right now, and I want to talk about it. So this video is, first of all, I have to say this, I am not good at theory crafting in any way, shape, or form. I'm just going to be throwing things at a wall and seeing if they stick. So this video is going to be a little everywhere, and I hope you guys don't mind, because once again, I'm so excited, but I am so scared for Volume 2. I have so much to say. Will it be anything of substance? Absolutely not. If I get something right, yay. If not, that's totally fine. But because I've been going through the clips of the Volume 2 trailer a lot, things have just been stuck to my mind, and I want to talk about it. So I'm just gonna yap. We're just gonna go through this, okay? So let's discuss Volume 2, and I'm attempting to go episodically, and I don't really know how that's gonna work out, but this is how I've put everything together in my mind. So the first episode I'm going to be talking about is Shock Jock, which is episode 5, which is immediately picked up after what happens in the events of the Maxi. And we know now, thanks to the trailer, that Will doesn't pass out after the battle, and that he feels guilty for the children being kidnapped. So we're probably going to see him start inserting himself more into the party's plans, especially now that he has powers. And at the top of my head, I'm guessing Shock Jock is going to be partly about capturing the Demogorgon, a Demogorgon maybe, because we see it in the clip and we see it getting shocked, and I would just like to believe that that is the only thing getting shocked in this episode and nothing else. I refuse to have anyone else being shocked but the Demogorgon, okay? Anyways, I'm guessing that the party may capture a Demogorgon and try to use it for Will to spy on the hive mind with, since Will has to be in close proximity to it, and it may help them gain more clues on what's happening to the children. And I just highly doubt that they would go out of their way to capture a Demogorgon to torture it, you know? So he may be able to get more information while seeing through its eyes. We also see him wearing the same clothes he was wearing at the Maxi, which are the same exact clothes from the iconic run scream from the first teaser trailer. So maybe while he's tapping into the hive mind, he sees the party in the upside down, maybe in danger, and he starts to fully possess one of the Demogorgons, but he has a hard time controlling it, so he starts panicking and screaming for them to run. He may even witness a character getting injured because of it, which I then think would prompt the party to try and find a way to break into the upside down. But I think that will be in another episode. Again, I'm just focusing more on key points. I don't know what's going to happen throughout the entire episode, but I think these will be the catalyst moments for it. So with that aside, now I want to talk about Escape from Camazotz and what could be happening there. Specifically that part where we see Vecna, Henry, and One shift together, all together into 3 beings. I found that part really interesting. We also see him in the Wheeler house when Holly sees him standing on that staircase. I believe that is her house, right? So that may mean that Holly could be in his memories, like how Max stumbled upon her way through his memories. And what I think could be happening, because we see that scene of her and Max going through that open door, could be that she could actually be opening dimension doors like Mike said she could with her D&D character. Maybe Holly can find memory parts and travel through Henry's memories more easily, and instead of how Max was lost and just going around in loops and stuff, Holly has a sixth sense for this, and she's navigating them through the memories to eventually find an exit, which I think would be really cool to see, and also would be a very mind-bending way to see them escape. I do know there's a lot more heavier lore implications when it comes to the book A Wrinkle in Time and escaping the planet Camazotz, and I unfortunately did not read the book, so I am not as clued up as to what could be happening there. But I just think the main part, it could just be parts of them trying to get out, and I don't think Holly will make it out with Max just because we see that she encounters Vecna and he looks really mad at her. So it could be that the person falling from the sky could be Max, like literally falling into her body and waking up, and that's what sets off the Demodogs to go to the hospital. Which, side note by the way, I have to say this, if they touch Vicky or Robin, I will come at awesome. I swear to freaking God, my girls are surviving. They need to go on that freaking date. They have to. They are going to break Enzo's curse. I swear to God. But anyways, maybe it could be Holly falling into a memory of Dimension X. Who knows? But I think like we've been hearing the whole like Henry / Vecna / one comment being thrown around a lot, and I think it would be really interesting if that becomes an actual thing where we see all three parts of him as he was before and after he got mind flayed. So I'm expecting Escape from Camazotz to do a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to explaining Vecna's backstory and like what happened to Henry. And like there's just so much ground to cover, and that's why I'm kind of nervous, but I'm okay. I believe in the Duffers. I know this is gonna be okay. Anyways, moving on to the bridge. We see the party like breaking into the military base again, so I'm guessing, or maybe these are two scenes put together to like throw us off because they've done that to mislead us already, but we see them in Murray's truck, so maybe they're breaking into the military base to get into the Upside Down via the gate that's already there. Because as far as I know, all the other gates have been opened and closed by the Demogorgons, which we see Al following one into to get Holly, and then we saw the other one with Steve driving into to follow the other Demogorgon, so those gates were closed. So I'm guessing that could be the only way they can all get into the Upside Down. And I think it may be fairly easy for them to get into the Upside Down, maybe not breaking into the military base, but I think going into the Upside Down itself, because Vecna seems to have what he needs with having kidnapped all the children, so I don't think he would be paying attention to them as much. So it would give the party an opportunity to force themselves into the Upside Down. Another meaning for the bridge could be a literal bridge, like one between worlds, which makes me think of that pulse we saw in the Volume 1 trailer that we see covers the entire sky in Hawkins. It reminds me of the wormhole theory that is going around, so my thought process is that maybe Vecna is trying to go ahead with whatever his plan is and merge the two dimensions together, or three if we're counting the Upside Down as a separate dimension from Dimension X. So maybe the pulse is something bad happening where reality is actually breaking. And I know we see the color red shift to blue, which is normally like a good sign, but you just never know what could happen with this show, and they could be doing it to like divert expectation. Like I said, I'm not a theory crafter, I'm just trying my best, because I have no idea what that like spore-like substance is that Jonathan and Nancy see on top of Hawkins' lab. I don't know whether that is parts of the Mind Flayer in the Upside Down and they're like trying to attach themselves to anything in the real world, or it's like maybe and like a real, what am I trying to say here, like a physical manifestation of what the hive mind is, and they're like communicating because it's pulsing around. It just looks like maybe transference of energy or something. But yeah, again, throwing stuff to a wall and seeing if it sticks. All I know is for episode 7 specifically, and it being named The Bridge, which is like a connection between two places, if anything Byler heavy is gonna happen, it will happen in maybe episode 7, because as we know, the number 7 follows around our boys like crazy. And I also know that Sean Levy has directed episode 7, and he's also the person who directed the van scene, so, subliminal messaging is everywhere there. But I am expecting a lot of things to go down in this episode, especially with now that Carly is back, that we may be seeing her and Elle start to rock the shit out of everybody, which I'm very excited for. I don't know whether it could be a situation where the entire group reunites and then exits the Upside Down to formulate a better plan, because we do see Elle back in the radio station, and this is before she puts on her swimming costume to go into her sensory deprivation tank. So a lot of other things are probably going to happen in the middle. It all just seems extremely high stakes. We also don't know at what point Will is probably going to be unconscious, because we know that's going to happen to him because we see it in the trailer where he's lying on the couch and Joyce and Mike look very worried about him. My theory is that he could get an influx of memories while he's in the Upside Down, and it might start to mess with him, and then he passes out because it's just too overwhelming, and then he actually remembers what he experienced there, and it starts to trigger him. I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this, but since I am here now, I'd rather talk about it because I don't think I will have time to make another video, as Christmas and New Year's are rapidly approaching, and I will be spending time with my family, even though I will be watching the episodes as they come out. But let's talk about the right side up, which is probably going to be the epic conclusion of Vecna's plan. So what the heck is Vecna's plan actually? I'm just gonna come out and say that I have no idea what's gonna happen, because they have left the motive of the larger scale threat of Vecna so ambiguous, but it reminded me of something when I saw the scene of Will getting visions of the other children on the spires. So this is gonna be a bit out there, but stay with me. What's currently going on in the plot with Vecna and the Mind Flayer kind of reminds me a little bit of the Infinite Tsukunyome in Naruto Shippuden. For those of you who don't know what I was talking about or don't even know the words I was saying, it's an anime about ninjas with incredible powers and fighting abilities. I'm absolutely watering down this synopsis because if I start talking about Naruto in depth, I will not stop. So, spoilers, I guess. But the main villain of Naruto Shippuden is this reanimated corpse of an evil man named Madara Uchiha, who we see in the final battle become a host of an all-powerful beast, which then in turn grants him the power of this thing called the Rinne Sharingan, which is basically this reality-bending illusionary power that he uses to put the entire world under a permanent illusion. And how he does it is by capturing everyone and attaching them to these cocoons. And he puts them all into this dreamlike state where each person lives out their happiest memories and lives. But unknown to Madara, another creature that he thought was his servant named Zetsu was actually manipulating him to resurrect an even more powerful and evil being, and that the Infinite Tsukunyome was actually used to harvest the life force or chakra of humanity to fully revive them, and it wasn't used to achieve Madara's twisted version of peace. I'm gonna give you just a moment to digest what I said, but you'll see the vision, right? Am I saying this is 100% happening? Absolutely not, but this is the closest I can get to rationalizing Vecna's plan to myself, as he thinks he is in control and what he's doing by kidnapping all these kids will give him more power, but in reality he is just being used as a vessel for the Mind Flayer to break free from its dimensional prison. In essence, what I'm saying is that I do not think that defeating Vecna is going to fix everything, because the Mind Flayer is the big bad, the end all and be all. It is the thing that has been tormenting Will from the beginning, and I just feel like there's more going on here. With that being said, I have also been seeing a lot of people worrying that they might write Vecna into being a good guy, and I don't think that will happen necessarily. What I think is that we will get closure and understand what happened to him to make him the way he is. But as for Vecna himself, I think he's too far gone. He doesn't even have his original body anymore, and I think we might get to give him like a respectful send-off. Like we get to like see the human version of him and give him peace. But I don't think that Vecna would be in a position to help the party because of all the wrong he has done, and I don't think there is any forgiveness that is going to come from that. So I ultimately think that we will be helping Henry, but Vecna as a whole, I think once it's done, he's gonna be dead, and that the party will then face off against the Mind Flayer. And I'm really hoping we see Will, Al, and Carly absolutely throw hands. Like, I want to see that. So now we're going to go into like mini theory territory, because I still have a lot more to speculate on. So my first theory is, whose memory are we in? Because I have this weird theory about memories, like memories itself being an actual source of power in the show. Like we see Max and Holly in Vecna's mind, and Al and Will using their memories to channel their emotions, which ultimately gives them more power. And I feel like it's the same sort of tool like it is for music, but instead it can be used to help or harm, because we see Vecna giving Max bad memories about Billy, and we even see him taunting Will and making him remember the worst parts of his life. And if Max and Holly can be in an entire mindscape, who's to say that the Upside Down isn't just a manifestation of someone's memories as well? Like maybe Will, maybe even Henry himself. Again, throwing stuff at a wall and seeing if it sticks. I just think there's been a heavier emphasis on memories, especially in this season and the seasons prior, where I feel like it is directly used to channel power. You can even see it as early as season 2, where Carly tells Al to channel memories that make her angry, which in turn made her more powerful. Another theory, which is going to hurt my soul a lot, is Will becoming the spy again, because girl, that eyeball is so gone, and I know my son is going to suffer, and Mike might suffer as well, but I am a firm believer in the Eye of Vecna theory, where in D&D lore, the Eye of Vecna can be acquired by sacrificing your own eye to harness its powers. And I don't know everything about D&D, but I do believe it gives you the power of true sight, which is something Will has already acquired in season 2. And now he has also acquired more powers. And the Eye of Vecna can grant you more powers, as we've seen, but it can also corrupt you, which is what I think is most likely going to happen, because we have been told that season 2 holds like heavy emphasis on what's happening in season 5. And what happened in season 2 was Will getting possessed by the Mind Flayer and spying back for it. So what I think may happen is that while Will is using his power more, he may start to lose control like he did in season 2, and may inadvertently put the party in harm's way, which I think can also be a ploy done by Vecna to weaken him. I also believe a lot in the Harry Potter / Will theories going around, where Will could essentially be a Horcrux as he's linked to Vecna, and it may lead to him attempting a self-sacrifice, which could just be like in Harry Potter where Harry dies, but it's kind of a fake out. So maybe a part of the Mind Flayer that is in Will finally die, and he survives. Because listen, I don't want anyone to die, which I know is a hot take or whatever, but I'm one of those people who's absolutely fine with everyone living. I am so fine with it, guys. I don't want anyone to die. I can't handle it. And like, to the people who want characters to die, respectfully, screw you. That's too much trauma for me to handle. Like, I couldn't even handle Eddie dying, so I don't know what y'all want me to do. I couldn't handle Bob dying. Like, no thank you, just no thank you. Anyways, I'm like 50% sure of Will becoming in air quotes evil, because we haven't seen that scene yet in the trailer where it looks like Will is getting like corrupted, and those thorns look like they're going for his eye, which, who knows, it could be metaphorical, like he could be having visions of Vecna messing with him, and it like in his head, like stabs him in the eye or something. But either way, all I know is that eye is gone. And now that I've spoken about Will, I have to talk about Mike. So Mike is finally going to see the Upside Down. And Byler aside, I am worried about Mike because this boy hasn't gone through it yet, and he hasn't been directly harmed by Vecna yet. So that opens up the door for some insane things to happen, and we haven't really seen Mike experience an emotional meltdown yet. Like, looking back at season 1, where he literally throws himself off the cliff above the lake where he saw Will's body getting pulled out of, there's still so much more underlying emotions that this boy has to work through, and I think it would be the perfect breeding ground for Vecna to pull some shit on Mike and harm him like he did with Will, like prey on his fears. And honestly, I have like a personal need to see Mike crash the absolute hell out and start feeling hopeless, not because I want to see him suffer, but because it has been long overdue, and literally everyone in the main party has gone through something that emotionally broke them besides Mike, and we need to see how he handles it and what happens to him because of it. And now that I've talked about Will and Mike separately, I think it's only fair that I start talking about them together. So, Byler predictions, guys. Byler is going to be endgame, but how? And I'm going to be so honest with you all right now because I have no freaking idea how Byler is going to become endgame, because let me tell you something, right? 2 of my favorite ship gates, or whatever the correct term for it is, was Flickergate and freaking Lover's Lake Gate. And
Mr. Watson?
God, you'll have no idea, Lover's Lake Gate was actually one of my favorite theories because it felt so grounded in reality, and I'm just so mad. I'm actually happy that we got the whole Mr. Watson thing because like Mike and Will were holding hands, but come on. Because of that, I don't know. I'm scared to say anything because, man. Anyways, I'm going to attempt to speculate. And since we see Mike finally being in the Upside Down, does that mean that Flickergate could be a possibility? Or like some type of variation of it? And for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about and what I just like semi-crashed out about, Flickergate is the theory that Mike and will end up together alone in the Upside Down, and certain events may lead up to them confessing their feelings for each other and kissing in the Upside Down, which causes the lights in the real world to flicker, specifically outside the Wheeler house. And since the Upside Down is stuck in the time frame of November 6, 1983, which is the day Will goes missing, it could be in the exact moment when Will is leaving Mike's house and we see the lights flicker for the first time. And why specifically the lights flickering would be important is because it is established in season 2 that electricity is another parallel for falling in love. So I think that would be incredible if it happened, but I also have another theory in the same vein, and again, throwing stuff and seeing what sticks. I think what would be really cool is that if Mike and Will are in the Upside Down together, but instead of it being in the Wheeler house, it's the radio station. And if they end up together and they kiss, it actually sends off literal signals because of the radio tower. Like almost like how we see the pulse, but not exactly, because I know that the pulse is coming from Hawkins Labs, but like I'm just saying that would be so cool. And like, can you imagine if Hero starts playing at the radio station? Like, then what? I'm fangirling so hard right now, but like I need something to happen. I need anything to happen. I need my endgame. Oh my goodness. But besides that, in order to get that like epic conclusion between Mike and Will's relationship becoming canon, we would need a few things to be addressed before it happens. And that brings me to my next theory of where the painting lie is revealed and Mike loses his shit because of it. Because he realizes when in season 4 he was telling Al that he loved her, it was based on Will lying to him about Al's feelings, and that he only told Al he loved her because he believed in Will's confession, which he thought was Al. And in turn, he would have been confessing his feelings for Al, but it was actually Will because he was using Al as a placeholder for himself. I don't know if that made sense, but I hope it did. Anyways, I think that would start as like a catalyst between a small rift between Mike and Will, which I think could eventually lead into them fighting, and then Will finally telling Mike how he feels. And who knows, maybe they might just kiss while they're fighting, because Will did joke with Robin.
You know, you could always just kiss her again.
I knew that was your goddamn bowl cut.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, come on, it's cute. And another tiny theory is that we do see Robin with Mike and Will, so I'm really hoping for Robin to marry them, and I think that would just be peak. It would be so funny. And it could also lead into like a misunderstanding situation in the beginning where Mike sees Robin and Will together and it's just like, I'm jealous, I can't do this, and he gets mad at them for no reason, and then she just calls them out. So Byler predictions aside, I do think I should address this, and that is, if Byler doesn't happen, what will I do? Because I have literally made this entire YouTube channel because of how much I love this show and how much I love this ship. So if Byler doesn't happen, I'll probably just cry and then run to AO3, honestly. But okay, speaking about it more seriously, if Byler doesn't become canon, I would feel disappointed, I would feel let down, and I would feel queer-baited, which I know is a word that is being thrown around a lot and it's almost lost its meaning, but you can't just introduce a character being gay in your show and give him a specific love interest, which again, regardless of Mike's character, he has now been written to be Will's love interest. And that is intentional. If not, they wouldn't have done it. Will could have easily have fallen for a boy in California, for crying out loud, and that would have been okay because it would have been set up. But instead, we have seen the show go out of its way to show us that it is Mike who is Will's love interest. And if it weren't for the conclusion of putting these two boys together, then why would they do this in the first place? Like I said, the only time I have become like fully aware of the possibility of Byler was when I watched season 4 all those years ago, and thinking about it now, like I had an inkling that Will was most definitely queer coded, but I didn't think they would go in any direction with it until season 3 when Robin came out to Steve, and then in season 4 where we are told straight to our faces that whatever is going on between Will and Mike isn't platonic, and like literally they have a fight in the rain, for crying out loud. Mike biked all the way across Hawkins to apologize to Will as soon as he realized he hurt him, yet he waited a few days to receive a call from Al, which never came. Like, these aren't delusions. This is purposefully done. We are shown time and time again how Mike goes out of his way for Will in a way that doesn't match his close friendships with Dustin and Lucas. We are meant to see that it is different for a reason, and for it to culminate all to a rejection would just make no sense at all. It wouldn't make sense at all. I'm getting a bit frustrated thinking about it, but it would be extremely disappointing that in the end of all of this, Will doesn't even get the guy, even though he suffered so much. And I think it would just send a horrible message to the queer community about what they should expect when it comes to falling in love. And it would be like a very sad, self-fulfilling prophecy of Will saying that he's not gonna fall in love, and he actually doesn't. So if Byler doesn't happen, which I highly doubt it's not gonna happen, I have too much Byler confidence at this point, but by some slim chance that it doesn't, become canon, I will be throwing so many hands. I swear to God, you will not hear the end of it from me. Anyways, that is all I have to say, and I am really excited for volume 2 as well as terrified for what's gonna happen, because again, I don't want anyone to die. I think everybody in the party has suffered enough, and the thought of them just losing anyone, it scares me. It breaks my heart. They don't deserve it. Like they've had so much taken from them, and I don't want anyone to lose more, and especially Al and Will. I think it would be really poor writing on the Duffers' part if they make either one of them sacrifice themselves, because they deserve to live the most. They have been robbed from the time they were babies, especially Al. So I really hope that they have fulfilling arcs, and that maybe Al and Carly just go off into the sunset. They explore the world together as sisters. Maybe Hopper gets 2 daughters, who knows? But I just want everyone to be happy, and I want them all to survive. Though the characters I am most worried about dying would be Joyce, Jonathan, and maybe Steve, but that was only because of what the Duffer Brothers did on the Jimmy Fallon show. But I think because they are the closest people, Jonathan and Joyce, I mean, are the closest people to Will, that it could do damage to him, and it could be something that Vecna would utilize to hurt Will. But I really don't want Jonathan to die or Joyce. I think they deserve to be a happy little family. Like, they deserve peace. So with all that being said, I hope everyone enjoys their holidays. I hope Christmas is amazing and New Year's is amazing. I hope we all survive what's gonna happen in volume 2, because again, I'm scared. But yeah, if you like this video, let me know, and please don't be shy about adding your own theories about what's gonna happen, because I really enjoy reading the comments. But thank you so much for watching, and yeah, goodbye.